Hey everyone, I'd like to unlock the why for you today. Alright, so let's give you a little bit of background here. What we're looking at is called the Golden Circle, as widely discussed by Simon Sinek. So, in case you're not familiar, what this is all about, how he describes it, is every organization knows what they do, some organizations know how they do it, and very few organizations know why they do what they do. Now, I'm going to bring it to a personal level, and this may impact the conversation a bit. So, I'm just giving you that context up front, and let's dive into the why specifically. When you go in search of your own why, what you will find is pains and games. Both sections are very important. Now, let me dive into the games section now. So, when I say the word games, I am referring to anything that you pursue. So, basically anything. You can either be successful at what you do or you can fail. So, let me dive into a diagram that will explain games a little bit better for you. So, on the bottom axis here, we have the difficulty of the challenge. So, if a challenge is simply not difficult enough for where your mind is at, you will find it boring. And obviously, you don't spend a lot of time doing boring things. Now, if it's too hard, if you get overwhelmed immediately at the thought of trying to overcome this challenge, you just drop it. So, in the middle is the sweet spot. So, this is the area where it's challenging enough to be interesting, and it's not so hard to not be able to succeed. So, I'm going to add another axis here, and that's going to be the amount of pain relief that comes from the activity. At the bottom, we have, so I've just split this middle column up. And so if there's low pain relief, we get things like time waste addictions. An example of this might be like a video game, because they engineer video games so that it starts out easy and then you see success and then it gets a bit harder and a bit harder. So it's challenging enough to be interesting, and it gets right to the level of your own abilities. And for that reason, you stay engaged. Now, where you find this same kind of engagement in something that truly matters and brings pain relief, you will find your why. Now, sounds easy? Great. Let's dive into my own chart, just as an example. Okay, so we're going to fill out my chart. Here on pains, one thing that pains me a lot is to see somebody doing something manually over and over and over. That's very frustrating, and I just get like a emotional response of like, guys, we gotta just automate this. You're doing stupid work, kind of thing. And thankfully, the AI and automation world has exactly the level of it fits into my sweet spot. We'll just put it that way. So it's hard enough to be a challenge, but I do see success, so it's a lot of fun for me. This kind of thing matches up great. Now, here's where I'm going to push back on the whole golden circle thing a bit, and that is that this simply does not encompass my entire identity. I have many more pains and games that I love to play, or whatever areas that I love to dive into. So I'm going to go into another example of another thing that pains me. So we have politics over truth, and all parties are guilty of this. But for me, I understand why politics has to happen. And so, since this is largely outside of my circle of influence, I simply choose not to play. So this is kind of it's going to be one of those on the far right side. It's too hard. So I guess what I want to say out of this is, if you play a game you're not positioned to win, you lose. So basically, choose your games wisely. Now I'm bringing up another one, surface level society. And that is just the frustration of the whole internet culture of likes and all these just little metrics of like, oh, how many subscribers or how many followers or whatever it is for the platform you're on. And what that breeds is basically very shallow relationships. You might have somebody in the comment section. It's like, oh, great, I have, a Facebook friend or something. Reason I bring this up, if this video meant something to you, if you found this whole concept interesting, I challenge you to share it with someone and tell them why you found it interesting, what it meant to you, and then have a real conversation with that person. And so I'm going to try to play this game a little bit and maybe have a little bit of influence on this whole surface level society culture. So that's it for today. I hope you found this insightful, and I've really enjoyed breaking this down. Have a good one.